Welcome back to the channel. I'm a data engineer and data analyst working alongside brokers and specialist insurers in the London market, building the data platforms and pipelines underneath claims, finance, and underwriting. If you work in claims, finance, or data in a Lloyd's syndicate, an MGA, or a broking house, stay with me, because this will change how you think about the tool already open on your second monitor, Excel. Here's a question that sounds simple, but anyone in subscription market business knows it isn't. Take any claim on your book and ask three things. Which insurers still owe money on this claim? How much has each of them actually paid? And how much is still outstanding for every insurer on every line in every currency? A claim here is rarely paid by one insurer. It's paid by many underwriters, each on their signed line across multiple currencies, with leaders and followers settling at different speeds. And underneath the indemnity sits a second layer of money: adjusters, attorneys, experts, defense costs, TPA fees, all needing apportioning, tracking, and reconciling. Traditionally, answering them means a request to your data team and a 2-week wait for a dashboard. Today, I'm going to answer them inside Excel in minutes using Claude AI. Claude for Excel puts an AI analyst inside your workbook. It reads your data, writes the formulas, and builds the analysis live on the grid. No black box. Everything happens in the tool your CFO and auditors already trust. Here's what we'll build: the settlement position of every claim at market line level. Fee transparency, showing where expense leakage is hiding. Reserving support your actuaries can lift straight into their triangles. Credit control.
We build strong
so
partnerships through detailed cycle analysis
and market intelligence,
ensuring inclusive.
Which markets settle fast and which followers lag their leaders. Renewal season ammunition straight out of a spreadsheet. But here's what nobody tells you in the AI demos. Claude is only ever as good as the data you put in front of it. Everything you'll see works because the data set underneath was properly engineered. Someone understood the claim system, modeled the data, and shaped it so a plain English question returns the right answer. That someone is a data engineer, and that's what I do for brokers and specialist insurers every day. AI hasn't replaced that work. It's made it more valuable than ever. If you want these capabilities inside your own operation, the data foundations, and the AI on top, my details are in the description, so pull up a claim from your own book, keep it in mind as you watch, and ask yourself what this would save you. Let's go. Right, here's our starting point, and I've deliberately kept it honest. What you're looking at is a claims transaction payment extract, the kind of thing that lands in your inbox from the claims platform every month. Every row is a payment posting against a claim. The claim reference, the movement number, the settlement details, the underwriter policy line, the market, the amounts, the posting type codes, the apportionment codes, around 25 columns, a few thousand rows. And if you've worked in London market claims finance, you already know the problem. Every answer you need is in here, and none of them are visible. Paid versus outstanding. That's buried in the posting type codes, CM, RF, OS, fee categories, hidden in apportionment codes, market positions, scattered across hundreds of rows per claim. Normally, this is where you'd raise a ticket with the BI team. Instead, watch this. I'm opening Claude right here inside Excel. And my first instruction isn't going to be build me a report. And this is a tip worth stealing. Treat Claude like a new analyst on their first day. Give it context before you give it work. So here's my first prompt. This worksheet contains London market claims transaction payments. Each row is a payment posting against a claim, split by underwriter market line. Posting types CM and RF are paid amounts. OS is outstanding. Net outstanding per line is the OS posted on the latest movement number. The ISV flag separates fees from indemnity. Fee codes ADJ, AT, XP, DEF, and TRA are adjuster, attorney, expert, defense, and TPA fees. Before we build anything, create a new worksheet called Data Profile showing total rows, number of claims, number of markets, and the date range, a table of row counts and GBP totals by posting type, a table of claims and total GBP by currency, a table of markets with their row counts, and a short list of any data quality issues or questions you'd raise before building reports. Format it cleanly with headings. And look at this. It's built me a profile page. Row counts, 11,000 postings across 48 claims and 12 markets. The posting type breakdown, the currency split. And down here, this is my favorite part. It's raised its own questions before building anything. Amazing. Now let's build outcome number 1, the market line settlement position. Here's my prompt. Build a new worksheet called Market Settlement Position. 1 row per claim, per underwriter market line. Columns for paid claim, paid fees, outstanding, outstanding fees. Using the posting type rules I gave you, excluding apportioned rows from the paid figures. Include the signed line, the leader flag, and the settlement currency. Format the amounts properly and highlight any market line where outstanding is more than 90 days old. And this is the part I want you to watch, because it's happening on the grid in front of you. You can see the sheet being created, the structure going in, the formulas being written into the cells. Pause on any cell and look at the formula bar. That's a real SUMIFS, real logic, fully auditable. Your auditor can trace every number, no black box. The workbook is the documentation. There it is. Every claim, every market line, paid and outstanding, indemnity split from fees, the exact question from the top of the video. Who owes what? Who's paid? What's outstanding? That's the 2-week dashboard request, done before your coffee's gone cold. But here's where it stops being a party trick and starts being a working method, because now I can just keep asking. Which markets have the highest outstanding balances relative to their signed line? Rank them. Now break the paid fees down by fee category, adjusters, attorneys, experts, defense, TPA, as a percentage of paid claim by market. And there's your expense leakage view. Look at that. Defense costs running disproportionately on a couple of markets. In a normal month, nobody spots that until quarter end. We found it in a follow-up question. This is the collapse I talked about in the intro, the distance between the business question and the defensible answer. Every one of those prompts would have been a change request last year. Today it's a sentence. Okay, so far we've built the settlement position and found the expense leakage. Now we're going to do something that honestly I never thought I'd say in a YouTube video. We're going to do reserving prep in Excel conversationally. If you've ever sat between a claims system and an actuarial team, you know the ritual. The actuaries want paid development by loss year and development period, the triangle, and every quarter someone spends 2 days wrestling an extract into that shape. Here's the entire job as one prompt. Build a worksheet called Paid Development Triangle. Using only indemnity rows, ISV 0, posting types CM and RF, calculate development quarter as the number of days between loss date and movement date divided by 91 plus 1. Then build a cumulative paid triangle in GBP, loss year of loss date down the rows, development quarter across the columns, cumulative paid amounts in the body, format in thousands. Then add a second table underneath showing the quarter-on-quarter development factors. Notice the language. I'm not writing formulas, but I am being precise about the business rules. Which rows, which dates, what development quarter means. Precision in, precision out. That's the discipline that makes this auditable rather than magical. And there it is. Look at the shape of that. 2023 fully developed along the top, 2024 still maturing, 2025 mid-development, 2026 barely started. That staircase is exactly what your reserving actuary expects to see, and every cell traces back to formulas sitting right there on the grid. Now the piece I've been building towards all video. Everything so far has been operational. This one is commercial, renewal season. You're deciding which markets keep their line, which get cut, and which leader actually earns the leadership. Traditionally, that decision runs on relationships and anecdote. Let's run it on evidence. Build a worksheet called Market Scorecard. 1 row per market. Show total signed line participation across all claims, total paid in GBP, net outstanding in GBP. Remember, outstanding is the OS postings on the latest movement number per claim line. Outstanding as a percentage of total incurred, the number of claim lines with outstanding older than 90 days, and defense costs as a percentage of paid fees. Rank the markets from best to worst settlement behavior and color scale the ranking. This is the single most valuable sheet in this entire series, and I want you to think about why. Every market on this scorecard is also sitting across the table from you at renewal. This is your side of that table. One more question, the one that makes broking directors sit up. For claims where the leader has paid, how many days on average does each following market lag behind the leader's payment date? Rank the followers. Now, let me explain why this last one matters. When a claim is agreed in this market, the lead underwriter goes first. They review it, they agree it, they pay their share. And in theory, every other insurer on the risk simply follows. The leader has done the work, so the followers pay their share promptly. That's the theory. Here's the reality on screen. What this table shows is the gap, in days, between the leader paying and each following market paying. And look at the spread. Some markets pay within a week or two of their leader. Others take 3-4 months to pay a claim their own leader agreed 100 days earlier. Think about what that means for the client. The claim is agreed, the money is owed, and they're still waiting, not because anyone disputes the claim, but because some markets are simply slow to follow. Now here's why this number is gold at renewal. Every one of these markets wants to keep their line next year. And until now, nobody could walk into that conversation and say, you take an average of 94 days to pay after your leader. The rest of the panel takes 12. Explain that, or explain why you keep your share. Producing that number used to need a data team and a business case. We just asked Excel a question. Let's take a moment here to reflect, because before I wrap up, I want you to see everything we've built in this session, side by side. We've answered 5 questions today. And I don't mean 5 interesting questions. I mean 5 of the questions that genuinely keep insurance professionals up at night. Can I actually trust the data I'm reporting from? On every claim, who's paid? And who's still sitting on money they owe? Where are fees quietly eating into my book? How are my loss years really developing? And when does a year stop hurting? And which of my markets deserve their line at renewal? And which ones need a difficult conversation? To begin started with 1 raw extract, 11,076 payment postings, 48 claims, 12 markets, 3 currencies, 3.5 years of movements, and before building anything, Claude profiled it. 8,000 paid postings, 95 refunds, 2,700 reserve postings. With a warning attached, sum those naively and you'd overstate outstanding by a factor of 30. 6 data quality checks, watch them, all passed, and 6 questions raised before a single report was built. That's not a tool running a script, that's an analyst doing due diligence. Then we had the settlement position. 260 market lines across 48 claims, every insurer's share, paid and outstanding in its original settlement currency, euros, dollars and pounds, each in their own view. Outstanding, calculated properly. Reserves on the latest movement only. And there, flagged in red, 45 lines where money is still owed and nothing has moved for over 90 days. That's not a report, that's Monday morning's chase list. Then we have the fee analysis, £50 million of paid claim, 7 million of fees riding on top. Split into adjusters, attorneys, experts, defense and TPA, market by market. The dashed line is the market average, 14%. Most markets sit tight to it. But watch the amber. Fenchurch running defense costs at 8.4% of paid claim. Aldgate at 7.1. The market norm is 3.6. That's expense leakage, more than double the norm, hiding inside two fee ratios that look almost respectable from the top. Now, you will remember the paid development triangle report from the series, and it is the report your actuaries will actually want to see. A paid development triangle, 4 loss years, cumulative paid by development quarter, building diagonal by diagonal exactly as the payments landed. Look at the shape. 2023, fully developed and flattening. Its last factor is 1.02, so a loss year on this book is essentially paid out inside 14 quarters, 24 maturing, 25 mid-development, 26 barely started. That staircase used to take 2 days of wrangling every quarter. It was one prompt, and the development factors came with it. And finally, the scorecard. Every market ranked by settlement behavior. 10 markets holding less than 6% of their incurred as outstanding. Disciplined, prompt, green. And then the bottom of the table, Halcyon. 35% outstanding, 21 claim lines aged over 90 days. Leadenhall. 43%, 15 aged lines, nearly £2.5 million sitting between just those two markets. Every one of these markets will be across the table at renewal. This is your side of that table. Now, here's the part I really want you to sit with, because it would be easy to walk away from this video thinking the AI did all the work. It didn't. And understanding why is the difference between this becoming real in your business or staying a demo on YouTube. None of what you watched started with AI. It started with data engineering. Think about what was true before the first prompt was ever typed. That extract didn't fall out of the sky. Someone had to know the claims platform, which tables hold the payments, how movements chain together. Someone had to design the shape of that data. One row per posting, at the right grain, with currencies converted, codes consistent, nothing missing. When Claude looked at that workbook, its own first words were that the data was clean and internally consistent. No hygiene work needed. Clean data doesn't happen. Clean data is built. That's the engineer. Then look at every prompt I wrote. Each one carried business rules the AI could never guess, that CM and RF mean paid and OS means outstanding. That net outstanding is the reserve on the latest movement. Sum every OS row and your number is fiction. That paid figures must not double count apportioned settlements. That a signed line is not a slip line. Get any one of those wrong and the workbook still looks perfect, beautifully formatted, confidently wrong. Knowing those rules and knowing to state them is the analyst. And when the answers came back, someone had to know what right looks like. I knew that triangle should be a staircase, mature years developed, recent years green. I knew a 40% outstanding ratio means a slow payer, not a typo. The AI builds fast. The analyst is the one who can look at the result and say, yes, I'd sign my name to that. In a market built on trust and audit, that judgment isn't optional. It's the whole game. So here's the honest summary of what you watched today. The AI supplied the speed. The data engineer supplied the foundations. The analyst supplied the meaning. Take away the AI and everything you saw is still possible, just slower. Take away the engineering and the analysis and none of it is possible at all, just faster ways to be wrong. That's why I believe tools like Claude for Excel don't make data professionals less valuable to this market. They make us more valuable than we've ever been, because every broker, every syndicate, every MGA now has access to the same AI. If you want that inside your operation, the foundations, the models, and the AI capability built on top, my details are in the description. Until next time, keep your data clean, keep your questions sharp, and I'll see you in the next one. Before you go, everything you have just seen is available for you to use right now. Click on the link in the description and you'll get the exact prompts I used across this entire series, word for word, covering claims reconciliation, co-insurance apportionment, trust account monitoring, funds withheld tracking, fee segregation, and portfolio reporting. so you can run the same analysis on your own claims data without starting from scratch. You'll get the data model that sits underneath it all, the structured claims view that tells Claude AI for Excel exactly what every field means, from paid claim and outstanding through to the apportionment and trust account fields, and why every number it produces can be trusted. You'll also get the dataset itself, 2,000 settlements of precisely modeled claims data, so you can see the outputs before you ever connect your own systems. Everything is in the description. One click, no cost, just the tools you need to make sure your claims data is always telling you the truth.